Hey, good evening and happy Father's Day to all the dads out there from USA, Canada, International, Long Island, aka Strong Island, plus the five spots of Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, Queens, and sports fans out there as well. This is your man G Money Stacks, aka the Greg, and the YouTuber, host with the most podcaster, um, Queens, New York native, and rookie podcaster of Lawton, Queens, New York. And yes, you're rocking with me and tuning in and listening to the 61st episode of Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast, the sports podcast that One moment. One moment. Sorry about that, folks. I had to reset my Wi-Fi and stuff like that. And for those of you that's coming in, I do apologize for being late. Good evening to all the dads out there. Happy Father's Day. And of course, as I was saying before, you're rocking with the 61st episode of Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast, the Sports Edition show, and of course, live and direct, um, and everything in between. And we're live and direct from StreamYard along with YouTube and of course the Instagram live feed. I do apologize. I had to reset the Instagram live feed because of the Wi-Fi reset button I had to do. And yeah. So anyway, happy Father's Day to every single person out there, especially especially in USA, Canada, International, Long Island, aka Strong Island, plus the 5 spots of Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, and Queens, especially the sports analysts, sports podcasters, the actors out there, um, and of course the athletes who are into baseball, basketball, football, everything else in between. So shouts to all the dads out there. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so once again, I do apologize for a little technical difficulty. It was because of the Wi-Fi reset that I was trying to do. My Wi-Fi was acting a little sketchy, and I was waiting for the music from outside to actually calm down. In case you don't know, there's every year when it comes to Father's Day weekend, there's always like a celebration, and of course, don't ask me about Juneteenth because this is not the place to talk about this on this sports podcast. So anyway, man, in the meantime, go ahead and grab that subscribe button for me on the sports YouTube channel page of Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast and tap on the noni bell along with alerts so you can be reminded when the show goes in the air via live stream along with the date and time of the episode recording. Leave a like and a comment along with the episodes and sports topics. And of course, you know, be sure to share the episodes, share the videos, download the episodes, and of course, um be sure to listen, stream, watch these episodes in case you miss any of them whatsoever. And be sure to tell a friend to another friend, and I will handle the rest at the end of this episode podcast show right here. And yes, like I said, I do apologize for the delay. I didn't mean for this to happen. This was unexpected. Things happen for a reason. So, it is what it is. So, yes. Yes. So let me just set this thing up real quick, and then we'll get into the episode right now. Boy. All right. Okay, here we go. All right, we got some sports topics to get to, and we're gonna start with a little bit of the quick side bleacher bar and involving Omar Navarez in terms of his his um his health. We're gonna get into it right here, man. Let's go. Okay. Mets catcher Omar Navarez recently had an injury. Most recently had an injury, actually. If you will. Um, and yes, and this was like basically way way back in April, actually. So let's get into it, and now let's just say so. The young gun will get a chance to prove himself. With catcher Omar Navarez landing on the IL with a high-grade calf strain, top prospect Francisco Alvarez is expected to be called up to the major league roster to replace him. Now, for those of you who may not know what a calf strain is, let me break this down for you. Let me break this down for you. Um, So it's basically the lower leg is a vital biomechanical element during locomotion, especially during movements that need explosive power and endurance. The calf complex is an essential component during locomotive activities and weight bearing. Injuries to this area impacts impact various sporting disciplines and athletic populations. Calf muscle strain injuries occur commonly in sports involving high speed running or increased volumes of running load, acceleration, and deceleration, as well as during fatiguing conditions of play or performance. Calf strain is a common muscle injury, and if not managed appropriately, there is a risk of re-injury and prolonged recovery. Muscle strains commonly occur in the medial head of the gas the gastro the gastrocnemius, or close to the the bus the musculotendinitis. No, excuse me. The muscle, no, musculotendinous junction. Um, the gas, the gastrocnemius muscle is more susceptible to injury as it is uh what is it, br br throdio muscle extending over the knee and ankle. Sudden bursts of acceleration can precipitate injury as well as a sudden eccentric overstretch of the muscle involved. So clinically relevant anatomy. The calf refers to the muscles on the posterior aspect of the lower leg. It is composed of three muscles: The gastrocnemius is in conjunction with soleus provide provides primarily plantar flexion of the ankle joint and flexion at the knee joint. Um, Plantar flexion provides the propelling force during gait, although it spans over two joints. Gastrocnemius is not able to exert its maximum power on both joints simultaneously. If the knee is flexed, gastrocnemius cannot produce maximum power at the ankle joint and vice versa. Soleus is located beneath the gastrocnemius muscle in the superficial posterior compartment of the lower leg. Its main function in plantar flexon of the muscle and stabilizing the tibia on the calcaneus, limiting for sway. Plantarius is located in the posterior, hold on, poster, posterior superficial compartment of the calf. Functionally, Plantarius is not a major contributor and acts with gastrocnemius as both a flexor of the knee and a plantar flexor of the ankle. These muscles come together to form the Achilles tendon, and all three muscles insert into the cal the calcaneus. Um, Epidemiology: muscle strains most commonly occur in biarticular muscles such as the hamstrings, rectus, um, femoris, and gastrocnemius. Therefore, when we refer to calf strain, we are often referring to the gastrocnemius strain. During sporting activities such as sprinting, these long biarticular muscles have to cope with high internal forces and rapid changes in muscle length and mode of contraction, leading to a higher risk of strain. Despite this, calf muscle strains have also been reported to occur during slow lengthening muscle actions, such as those performed by ballet dancers. Yeah, but also during common daily activities. Various sports such as rugby, football, tennis, athletics, and dancing are impacted by calf muscle strain injuries. In football, 92% of injuries are muscular injuries. 13% of these are calf injuries. In Australian rules, football CMSI represented one of the highest soft tissue injury indices, and there was a 16% recurrence rate. All right. Okay, so let's get to the carrot. Let's get to okay, so let's get to the gastrocnemius strain. So gastrocnemius is considered at high risk for strains because it crosses two joints, the knee and ankle, and has a high density of type 2 fast twitch muscle fibers. A tear of the medial head of gastrocnemius muscle is due to an eccentric force being applied to the muscle when the knee is extended and the ankle is um dorsiflexed. The the gastroc hold on a second. The gastrocnemius muscle attempts to contract in the already lengthened state, leading to tear of the muscle. Symptoms of gastrocnemius strain can include subjective reports of sudden sharp pain or tearing sensation at the back or the back of the lower leg, often in the medial belly of the gastrocnemius or at the musculo-tendinous junction. So on the objective assessment, there will be tenderness to touch at the point of injury, swelling, bruising may appear within hours or days. Stretching of the muscle will reproduce pain. Pain on resisted plantar flexion. Soleus strain. Um, soleus strain is the muscle is injured while the knee is in flexion. Okay. Plantaris strands, grading of the calf strain. Yeah, I just wanted to give y'all a breakdown of the calf strain and everything else in between for all the people out there that's not into sports. That's basically what a calf strain is about. All right, so okay, so where was I? Yes. Yes, so New York added that the typical recovery time for an injury of this type is 8 to 9 weeks. Um, Narvaez, age 31, went 4 for 14 at the dish this year prior to his injury with 2 walks. The 8-year veteran signed a 1-year pact with the Mets in December, and the plan was to platoon him with incumbent catcher Tomas Nido. With Navarez now on the shelf long term, the team is calling upon top prospect Francisco Alvarez, who is slated to be activated prior to Friday's home opener at Citifield against the Miami Marlins, which already happened. I seen that game. Alvarez, age 21, is the number 2 prospect in baseball, according to MLB Pipeline. The youngster got a small cup of coffee with the Mets at the end of 2022, but began this season with AAA Syracuse. Down there so far this year, Alvarez had a 1.056 OPS with 2 home runs. With Narvaez on the sidelines for an extended amount of time, the Mets will get a chance to see what they have in one of their most prized young prospects. And by the way, a little side note here about Omar Navarez. He actually made a return during the game of the Pittsburgh Pirates, which I seen. And yeah, he already made his return. So here it is. And that's pretty much what this is right there, man. Yeah. In other Mets news, Max Scherzer. Yeah, Max Scherzer has what they call hang on a second. So the latest hurdle in Max Scherzer's difficult spring with the Mets in 2023 emerged on his thumb over the last week. A callus on the veteran right-hander's thumb, which was initially suffered during his previous start in Washington against the Nationals open during Sunday afternoon's outing against the Cleveland Guardians, providing a significant amount of pain with nearly every pitch he threw. I equate it to like playing basketball with a sprained ankle. Scherzer said, "It's raw skin. It's a lot of pain, but you have to suck it up and go through it. I'd rather pitch in pain and win than not pitch at all." That's exactly what Scherzer did. gutting out 6 innings of scoreless ball while allowing just 3 hits and with 5 strikeouts and a walk in the Mets 5-4 victory in the first leg of Sunday's doubleheader. His outing was fueled by the curveball, which was a pitch he had thrown approximately 50 times over his first 6 starts of the season with limited results. He hadn't recorded a single strikeout with the pitch, but with his velocity down due to the split skin on his thumb. Scherzer found comfort in the secondary pitch, recording 3 of his 5 strikeouts, with it all swinging. The only thing I could really do was the curveball, Scherzer said. I shifted the grip on it, and surprisingly enough, when you bring your thumb up on your curveball, it was one of the pain-free pitches I could throw. So because of that, I was able to snap off some good curveballs and use it when I needed it. He added that his thumb will be fine by his next scheduled start, though implored that you are going to have one start where it's miserable. Sunday's outing wasn't too shabby for the miserable experience. It was the first time since opening day on March 30th down in Miami against the Marlins that Scherzer pitched at least 6 innings, lowering his season ERA to a still bloated 4.01. But things finally appear to be trending in the right direction for him after a hectic opening 2 months of the season. He had started he had a start pushback in mid-April due to lingering back soreness before he was suspended 10 games by Major League Baseball when it was deemed the mixture of sweat and rosin on his hand and glove during an April 19th start against the Los Angeles Dodgers was too sticky, which is this is so fucking dumb, man. I'm not even gonna get into the whole thing with MLB and Ron Manfred. They pissed me off. They pissed a lot of people off of that shit, though. I'm not even gonna get into it. Scherzer was thrashed by the Detroit Tigers upon his return on May 3rd before neck spasms sidelined him for an additional 11 days, which included 6 in a neck brace. Over his last 2 starts, he's allowed just 1 run on 5 hits with 11 strikeouts in 11 innings of work. I wish things were easy. It's usually the opposite. Sorry about the car, folks. Yeah. Yeah, I wish things were easy. It's usually the opposite, Scherzer said. This is another part of being a big leaguer. You are not always going to feel good. You are actually going to feel pretty crappy some days. I feel like I've been on a string of this and it's just part of the game. And um yeah, it was like a callus. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, a split callus. I was like, okay, so let's break down what a callus is. Hold on a second, because this is very important to actually know when it comes to sports terms. Okay, so let's look up what is a callus. Okay, what is a callus? Okay, so for those of you who may not know what a callus is and what Max Scherzer is talking about, this is basically thickened layers of skin, often on the hands or feet, where friction repeatedly occurs. Calluses can have causes that aren't due to underlying disease. Examples include poorly fitting shoes, frequent use of tools or instruments, frequently walking barefoot, or frequent friction to an area of skin. Um, Yeah. So this is basically it's related to hands actually, and how to get rid of it. So what the hell? So soaking. Wait, the what the hell? Um. so wait a minute, man. Wait a minute, man. Soaking corns and calluses in warm soapy water softens them. This can make it easier to remove the thickened skin. Thin thickened skin. Once you've softened the affected skin, rub the corn or callus with a pumice stone, nail file, um, emery board, or washcloth. Yeah, but it's on his thumb, like you know what I mean? Yeah. Wait, callus on the thumb. Yeah. Yeah. Hands. Yeah, of course. This is yeah. Yeah, this is pretty much what this is though. This is pretty um important to learn about this. But let's see. Let's see. Yes, Francisco Alvarez. Let's get to it. And this was a while back actually. I've been saving this for quite some time. Um been a little far behind due to everything going on in life, of course. So this is where all right, so um yes, so for more than 4 years, the legend of Francisco Alvarez has grown. The Mets signed him to a multi-million dollar deal as a teenager out, out of Venezuela in 2018. Since then, the promise of a strong frame and raw power have lingered as he rose to become the top prospect in Major League Baseball last season. After appearing in five major league games and catching only 13 innings at the highest level last season, Alvarez made his first start behind the plate in 2023 against the Marlins on Sunday, and he showed some of the reasons that the Mets have such high hopes for him, along with other areas where he needs to grow. Alvarez finished 1 for 4 with an RBI, a pair of strikeouts, and a throwing error, and received another clunker from Carlos Carrasco in the Mets 7-2 loss on Sunday afternoon at Citifield. I felt good, but we didn't win, doesn't make me so that doesn't make me feel good. Alvarez said through interpreter Alan Surreal. Alvarez will now get a regular opportunity to prove that the hype is founded. The 21-year-old's arrival comes a little earlier than expected after he was sent down to AAA in late March, but came with necessity after the news that Omar Navarez would miss around 8 or 9 weeks with a calf strain. Before the game, Buck Showalter said that sometimes the hardest thing for young players and even older players is to stay away from the emotional at bats during the game. Alvarez could not avoid that situation during his first at bat of 2023 when he stepped into the batter's box with two runners in scoring position. He took a big looping swing at a slider in the dirt on the first pitch from Braxton Garrett, but looped a 1-2 sinker into right field for an RBI single to get the Mets on the board. I just wanted to make contact with the ball, Alvarez said. I saw the infield was playing a little deep, so I just wanted to get it over their heads so we could score that run. Later in the game, however, with another two runners in scoring position, Alvarez struck out on a low slider. He said he feels like he needs to control that. He needs to control the movement a little bit better, and not try to do too much. The Marlins um also tested Alvarez's arm on five stolen base attempts and were successful each time. On the final attempt by Gene Segura, Alvarez sailed a throw and was charged with an error. When you give him a chance, he'll throw out the people he's supposed to throw out, Showalter said. Nowadays, it's probably one of the toughest jobs of this year compared to last year, is the running game because they took away a big weapon with the pitchers holding stuff on. Well, that's yeah, that's interesting though, man. But he's really coming around. I mean, every teammate, let me tell you something. Every teammate in the Mets organization is gonna go through things, okay? They're human beings. And I don't think the people really understand the mental aspect behind it. You know what I'm saying? As far as mental health and stuff. I mean, mental health is real, folks. You know what I'm saying? And 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 it's crazy, you know what I'm saying? Um, but some people got crazy opinions and stuff, but at the same time, they don't give up. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, they don't really give up. So that's pretty much what this is. Yeah, sorry about that, folks, man. I had to lower the volume because of the loud motorcycle. Um, Give me 1 second. All right. Okay, let's get to the predictions of the New York teams in 2023. Let's get to it. Okay, let's see. Um, Let me see. Yeah, one moment. Okay, so The New York Mets approached the start of the season with high expectations. After an off-season of major acquisitions, the time has come to test the roster that Billy Epler and the rest of the front office have put together. Despite um, some setbacks this spring training, the Mets have a good core of players with the potential to achieve great things. Let me explain something to the people in the comment section who is blaming Buck Showalter. Listen, Buck Showalter is not the person that's in charge of the roster lineups. It's it's Billy Epler and the front office that puts this together. So just want to get it out there though, man, for the hardcore sports fucking fans out there though, man. That's blaming Buck Showalter for all this, but come on now. Anyway, man. Anyway, this is just crazy. Anyway, um, yes. So among the achievable aspects of this season, there are five predictions that we all want to believe will come true this 2023. Number one, the New York Mets will win the National League East division, even though that's not happening right now, but I'm not even going to get into the stats. Following a 1-1 win in season in 2022, the hopes of Mets fans died quickly in the 2022 Wild Card Series after a disappointing final week of the regular season. The team with more experience and hunger to win should come more prepared to face a division as competitive as the East of the National League. The Mets have in health one of the best rotations in baseball, despite losing Edwin Diaz, which was a big blow. It was a big fucking big blow right there. Um, yes, and the bullpen looks solid with plenty of depth options. The lineup, who was top five in batting average last year, possesses good contact skills, power, and discipline. And I will do an update on Edwin Diaz's progress and 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 he might when he might consider returning. I don't know exactly. Um, they don't know exactly, so it's going to be a long process for him to recovery. So yes. So the lineup who was top five in batting average last year possesses good contact skills, power, and discipline. Despite competing in the strongest division in the major leagues against the Atlanta Braves and the Philadelphia Phillies, the Mets, accompanied by the leader of Buck Showalter, have what it takes to win the division. Additionally, the arrival of Carlos Beltran can help the team's hitters adjust in times of pressure and losing streaks. The Mets have the core players and leadership on the field to win the division. Likewise, the commitment shown by Steve Cohen brings peace of mind knowing that the front office has the necessary support for any movement that helps to guarantee this objective. Let's stay positive. Winning the division is an achievable goal. And number two, Mets ace Justin Verlander to win NL Cy Young Award. Reigning American League Cy Younger Justin Verlander enters the season with high expectations after agreeing to a 2-year, $86 million guaranteed contract and a vesting option for 2025. All right. Sorry about that, folks. It's my Wi-Fi again. Unfortunately, I had to get that fixed. So, just bear with me here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, just bear with me. Just bear with me. Anyway, so let me just continue where I left off here. Um, yes. So Verlander entering his 40s this season is still in top form. Um, for many, a player of Justin Verlander's age carries a very high risk, which limits his potential. While this is true of the average player, Verlander has shown in his career that age is not a factor. Excuse me, comparing his performance at 39 years old with a select group of pitchers of the same age in baseball history. Verlander is number one in FIP and number two in ERA behind Cy Young. Indeed, the new ace of the Mets has posted the best numbers of his career from the age of 34. In this period, Verlander has posted a 2.26 ERA with 825 strikeouts, 652.2 innings pitched, starting in 102 starts. This level of results is evidenced in spring training, where Verlander has an ERA below 2.50, a whip below 900, and the opposition is hitting below 150. Justin Verlander is already in the mid-season form to compete. Looking at Verlander's performance in recent years and what he's been doing in the preseason, we can expect him to compete for the Cy Young Award. This could be his first in the National League, adding to his Hall of Fame resume and putting the Mets in the head start. Number 3, Mets power hitter Pete Alonso will hit 50 or more home runs in 2023. Pete Alonso is one of the best power hitters in MLB since his arrival in 2019. During his tenure in the majors, his maximum exit velocity, on his hits has consistently finished in the top 1% of the league. Alonso, a continuous process of improvement. 2022 was his best year. The polar bear, as he is known, hit 40 home runs, racking up impressive 131 RBI total, the most in team history. If Alonso continues to maintain a hard hit percent and barrel percent above 80% and 95% respectively, we can expect more home runs. During a quick exercise, if Alonso placed an HR per at bats ratio similar to what was evidenced in 2019 and 2020, accumulating 650 turns, he would achieve the sum of 49.5 home runs in 2023. It is important to note that Pete Alonso would be a free agent at the end of the 2023 season. So the motivation to improve in every aspect of the game and put up their best numbers is even greater. A season of 50 home runs or more by Pete Alonso would not only help his cause, but would put the team in a position of greater offensive production that would lead to more runs scored and therefore more wins. Number 4, Kodei Senga, Ghost Fork Ball guarantees him the National League Rookie of the Year award. One of the most intriguing players entering the 2023 season is Kodei Senga. The 30-year-old Japanese right-hander comes to MLB with the Mets teams after signing a 5-year, $75 million contract after completing 11 seasons in Nippon professional baseball in Japan. All right. Let me keep going here. Okay. Yes. So Sanger is shaping up to be a dominant shooter with a fastball that can reach triple digits of speed and a rare forkball that is his most interesting and strange pitch. Despite having to go through adaptation processes in MLB, such as changing the size of the ball or mound or preparing it to pitch every 5 days. Senga is a young man with diverse abilities who has been studying MLB baseball for years. His focus on spring training has been tremendous in getting him ready for the season. The dominance of his ghost forkball is relevant as it will take time for hitters and opposing teams to analyze and study this pitch. This offers a comparative advantage for Senga being uh, able to make the most of the situation. In terms of his experience versus players of North American caliber, Sanger pitched in relief against the United States national team at the 2017 World Baseball Classic, striking out 5 in 2 innings. Among the players he retired with complete dominance were all stars of the time: Buster Posey, Christian Yelich, Giancarlo Stanton, Andrew McCutchen, and Eric Hosmer. Kodai Senga has the stuff, maturity, adapt adaptability, and potential to achieve a great season this 2023, thus achieving the Rookie of the Year award. His numbers and his ghost pitch will speak for him and will place the Mets with a great advantage by having a pitcher with ace potential as their third starter. And number five, the New York Mets will reach the World Series in 2023. Remains to be seen, kid. Of all the predictions, none carry more weight for the Mets organization and its fans than reaching the World Series. This is an of every team that wants to compete and is very difficult to achieve in a season as long as that of baseball. The team is built to win with the hope of winning the division and the health of its most important players. Reaching the last rung in October is the ultimate goal for everyone. Um, the Mets' odds of reaching the World Series have dropped a little after Edwin Diaz's injury, as has the Houston Astros case with the loss of Jose Altuve. But although the odds serve as a parameter to measure the potential of a team, in a season as long as MLB's predicting who would make it to a World Series is not so easy. The calculated probability that the Philadelphia Phillies would reach the World Series in 2022 before opening day was um plus 2,000, ranking 13th. Regardless of this, the Mets have the team and the recognition of the league that they are one of the teams to beat this 2023. Added to this is Steve Cohen's commitment to the organization. On episode 43 of the Joe Sherman and John Heyman podcast, Cohen argued that the salary that could be cut from spending on Diaz because of his injury could be used for some improvement ahead of the trade deadline later in the year. This undoubtedly shows that the team is serious about everything. Okay. Okay. Let's go to hold on a second. Hold on a second here. Yes, so I've been saving this for a while, actually. So I've been saving this shit for a while, though, man. So, and this took place in Port St. Lucie, actually, before the major leagues. started. The regular season started. So the Mets held an intra-squad scrimmage a day before their Grapefruit League home opener Saturday as a dress rehearsal for players and stadium operations personnel alike. Evidently, they didn't work all. They didn't. Excuse me. They didn't work out all the kinks. And of course, about halfway through the Mets 5-2 victory over the Marlins on Saturday, sprinklers began showering the outfield at Clover Park, briefly delaying the game. Amused fans held up their phones to capture the moment on video. Oh man. Wow. Wow. Oh man, that has to be a major moment right here, man. Oh boy. Wow. Wow. That's very interesting right there, man. Um, it's not a terrible thing, but this was unexpected though, man. I mean, sprinkles is about to happen. I mean, come on. You can't go wrong with that. Really can't go wrong with that though. Um, yeah, you really can't go wrong with that though. This is kind of interesting. Um, hold on a sec. Yes, this is. I'm not even gonna put the terrible thing right there, man. I'm not even gonna put that there though, man. But you you turn on the sprinklers, man. You turn on the sprinklers right there. you're actually trying to you're actually trying to ask for some water. Okay, let's continue. About halfway through the Mets 5-2 victory over the Marlins on Saturday, sprinklers began showering the outfield at Clover Park, which I already briefly delaying the game. Amused fans held up their phones to capture the moment on video. Earlier in the day, Brett Baty hit a two-run home run to center field of Astros right-hander Brandon uh, Bilak um, during the first inning of the team's first official game of the spring in West Palm Beach, Florida on Saturday. Damn. And he also walked in the game. Wow. So let's go to Joey Lucchesi. Let's go to Joey Lucchesi here. Oh damn. Are you serious? Okay, I'm gonna have to skip this one. All right, so Tomas Nido. All right, I don't know what happened to the story of Joey Lucchesi, but um, you know what? You know what? Hold on a minute here. Hold on a second here. One moment. Yeah. Okay. So speaking of Joey Lucchesi, most recently, okay. So this was last month actually. So ahead of today's not quite doubleheader, the Mets announced a few roster moves. Joey Lucchesi, who started yesterday's suspended game, was optioned to Triple A Syracuse. And the corresponding moves, the Mets recalled Dennis Santana to the major league team and designated um Seth Elledge. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Um yeah, sorry about that. I'm sorry. Seth Elledge. I'm sorry. Hold on 1 second, folks. Sorry about that. For apparently, I don't know what happened to the Instagram live feed or whatever. It just stopped working or whatever. But I want to let the people in Instagram know that it is not me playing music. It's not me playing music, okay? It's the people, it's one of the neighbors outside that's doing a party or whatever for Father's Day / Juneteenth or whatever. It's not me playing the music. So stop cutting my video off, please. I do apologize for that. I'm sorry for that. Anyway, where did I leave off before my Instagram live feed just went off? Anyway, man. And I'm sorry for those who were watching on the Instagram live feed. I do apologize for the video that just got cut off or whatever. But good evening and good evening and all the dads out there and everything else. So let me just continue where I left off here. I'm sorry. Anyway, so let's see. Yes, Triple A Syracuse. Um, yes, Joey Lucchesi, who started yesterday's suspended game, was optioned to Triple A Syracuse. In the corresponding moves, the Mets recalled Dennis Santana to the major league team and designated Seth Elledge for assignment to make room for Santana on the 40-man roster. Casey made 5 starts for the Mets since returning from Tommy John surgery, with varying levels of success across those appearances in the first start of the season. Luchessi went 7 shutout innings, striking out 9 Giants. His other 3 starts, including yesterday's rain abbreviated one across 15.1. Luchessi has only struck out 8 and given up 10 earned runs. Luchessi earned hold on. Luchessi has made 5 starts. Yeah, all right. Luchessi went 7 shutout innings, striking out 9 Giants. Luchessi has struck out 8 and given up 10 earned runs. Luchessi's demotion seems to indicate that the Mets feel Carlos Carrasco will be back in the rotation by the time that Luchessi's turn will come up in the rotation, or at least shortly thereafter. Yesterday is likely not the last time Luchessi will be wearing a Mets uniform this season. Steven Nagosic will resume the suspended game for the Mets. Taking his place on the roster is Dennis Santana, who appeared in 7 games for the Mets earlier this season, putting up a 7.01 ERA and looking inconsistent over his appearances, with the bullpen being so taxed by short appearances from Mets starters. It makes sense that the team needed to add a bullpen arm, especially ahead of today's 16 innings of baseball. To make room on the roster for Santana, the Mets DFA'd Seth Elledge. Elledge, who the Mets claimed on waivers back in April, has not looked very good in Syracuse, appearing in 8 games and putting up a 8.49 ERA and a 2.209 no 2.2229 whip. So that's pretty much the Luchessi story right here. That's pretty much the Luchessi story right there. Now, Tomas Nido. Tomas Nido, okay? So let me see. So a few hours before the Mets, home opener, Buck Showalter was asked how he would balance the goals of winning games and helping Francisco Alvarez develop. Very heavily weighted toward winning games, the manager said, with that twinkle that he tends to employ when leaving his most pointed sentences unspoken. That was the right answer, of course. That this is the big leagues, and while the skipper quickly tossed in an aside that he thinks Alvarez can help after rushing here to replace the injured Omar Navarez. He also complimented Tomas Nido and established 68 times in a 16-minute rap session with the media. Buck knows ball, and Buck knows that Nido is borderline elite at a key defensive position. For that reason, not to mention the fact that Alvarez is not yet a proven hitter, Nido gives the Mets the best chance to win. As exciting as it was for fans to see a top prospect return to Queens, the fact is that the loss of Navarez left the team in a worse place. There's no knock on Alvarez, who has elite power and undiminished potential. But who has not yet performed consistently enough at AAA to earn a non-emergency call-up. More to the point, the baseball philosophy to which both Showalter and GM Billy Epler subscribe places defense at the top of any catcher's profile. Experience is important for any position. Prospect hype is hardly on the list. While working in the Yankees front office more than a decade ago, Epler was one of the pioneers of catcher framing. or the ability to receive a borderline pitch and present it to umpires as a strike. Those stats have become widespread in the years since, and this season earned space on MLB's deep dive website as the most Yeah, sorry about that though. My Wi-Fi's been acting a little strange, so I had to do a little fix up. Yeah, I'm back actually. All right, so let me see where I left off here. I'm sorry. Um, yes. So let's see. Let's see. Where did I leave off here? Yeah, where was I? Yeah, where was I? Yes. Where was I? Yes. As exciting as it was for fans to see top prospect return to Queens, the fact is that the loss of Navarez left the team. Yes, I already read that part. Um, while working in the Yankees front office, more than a decade ago, Epler was one of the pioneers of catcher framing, or the ability to receive borderline pitch and present it to umpires as a strike. Those stats have become widespread in the years since, and this season earned space on MLB's deep dive website baseballsavant.com. In a key framing metric, strike rate, Nido was the fifth best in MLB last year. Navarez was seventh best. Both are also considered strong at the unquantifiable but crucial skill of working with pitches to call games. Because of those facts, the best way for the Mets to make up for the loss of Narvaez for the next few months will be to utilize Nido's similar skill set. The equation might be different if Alvarez had been a dominant offensive performer over the past year. Perhaps he could have matched his way up the depth chart, but he is still working to make more consistent contact. In a brief cup of coffee last September, Alvarez batted 167 for the Mets and struck out in a third of his at bats. In spring training this year, he hit 107 with a similar strikeout rate. And while he homered twice in his first 16 at bats for a AAA Syracuse this year. He also struck out 8 times. Asked on Friday if Alvarez was ready to be an offensive player in the major leagues, Showalter stopped well short of a full-throated yes. I don't think anyone is ever for sure a finished product, he said. By the way, Alvarez is 21 years old. Finished products at that age are exceedingly rare. It's okay that he's still developing. Perhaps one day he will be an all-star like Narvaez. But this month, with the Mets beginning a season that they hope will end in late October, Alvarez is best suited for a Triple A. Narvaez's injury makes that impossible, but that doesn't mean he is ready for significant big league playing time. While he's here, Alvarez needs to be an occasional catcher and designated hitter and a full-time understudy. Even if Alvarez's bat catches fire, the Mets pitchers need to throw the bulk of their innings to a seasoned catcher. It's kind of like a backup quarterback that gets drafted out of college, so Walter said. Everybody knows he's going to be a really good player, but the time he spends as a backup is very valuable too. Tomas is pretty good. Okay. He's a great job for us. One little side note here. I will do a little update on Tomas Nido being sent for assignment. Let's see. And yeah, let me get to Trea Turner. Let me get to Trea Turner yeah, let me get to Trea Turner. And of course the big scoreboard and stuff. So let's get to where's Trea Turner. Hold on a second. Hold on a minute. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Okay. All right. So Trea Turner. Here we go. If there was one sequence we saw over and over in the 2023 World Baseball Classic, it was Trea Turner circling the bases. Turner homered yet again for Team USA in the WBC championship game on Tuesday night against Japan. He connected in the second inning for his fifth home run of the tournament, which tied the record for a single classic. Turner matched Seon Yoop Lee's five home runs for Korea in the inaugural 2006 WBC, but it wasn't enough as Team USA lost 3-2 and undefeated Japan won its third WBC title. Damn, that sucks. Damn, that really sucks. That has to really suck right there, man. I'm not even gonna hold you. That's crazy. Um, yeah. That's crazy. That's really crazy. Um, yeah, that's crazy right there, man. Yeah, that part too. Um, yeah. What is it? Where is? Yes, yes. Where was it? Yes, yes, yes. Yes. So the home run also gave Turner 11 RBIs in this WBC, third all time behind the 13 that M- Masataka Yoshida of Japan had this year, and the 12 that the Netherlands Vladimir Bellantine. Oh wow. Totaled in 2017. Not Vladimir as in Vladimir Guerrero. Turner's power surge was one of the key catalysts for Team USA, even as he hit mainly at the bottom of the USA order. His latest home run got the USA out to an early 1-0 lead against Japan. Turner's second home run of the WBC was a go-ahead grand slam against Venezuela in the quarterfinals, turning a 7-5 deficit in the eighth inning into a 9-7 victory. He also homered in a 12-1 victory over Canada in USA's third game of pool play, and he crushed two home runs in USA's convincing 14-2 semifinal victory over Cuba. Turner's first home run in that game traveled 428 feet into the bleachers at Lone Depot Park. 4 innings later, his second home run of the game drove in 3 runs and blew the game open for Team USA. Um. Okay. Okay. Yes. What's next? Let me see what's next here before I wrap up here. Um. Okay. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Damn. Tomas Nido gives advice to Francisco Alvarez. Wait, did I do this one? Hold on a second. Hold on. Did I do this one? I'm not sure, but not sure if I did this one. Whew. I'm not sure if I did. Yes. Let's see. Giving advice. Wait. Wait. Okay, hold on a minute. Tomas Nido gives advice to Francisco Alvarez. Okay. Yeah, wait. So Tomas Nido returned to the Mets in Chicago on Thursday in what will be his first game back from the injured list. Nido, age 29, um, was placed on the IL on May 10th with dry eye syndrome, which affected his vision and forced the Mets to try and figure out a solution to correcting the catcher's vision. The organization and Nido eventually found a solution that involve ear involves plugs that help Nido's eyes stay lubricated, and he's taking medications for the allergies. Okay, let's see. What did I? Thankfully, we were able to figure out what was going on and figure out the best solution for the time being. Neil told reporters prior to Thursday's game, "This is the best outcome on the solution. I'm just glad to put this to rest." Nito explained that his dry eyes also forced him to have a new prescription, despite having LASIK eye surgery 5 years ago. Nito explained that he was in the minors so he could get used to the new prescription during games. In 51 at bats this season, Nito is slashing 118, 148, 260, 266 with one RBI and no extra base hits. Nito was asked about whether his eyes affected his production, and the Puerto Rico native downplayed it. "I don't want to put excuses. I'm sure it affected me in some way, but it is what it is," he said. "I feel a lot better and I'm excited to get out there and get going again." In 4 games in low A, Nito went 3 for 15 with a home run and 2 RBIs, and is now coming into a catching situation that is log jammed. Aside from Nido, the Mets rookie sensation, Francisco Alvarez, up, as well as Omar Navarez, who was acquired in the offseason and is expected to return from the IL in early June. Former Yankee Gary Sanchez was designated for assignment to make room for Nido. But despite that, Nido isn't worried about the situation or his role and just wants to help the team win games. "I'm just ready to help in whatever way they need me to," Nido said. "At the end of the day, things usually play themselves out with time. I'm ready for whatever the team needs and whatever role they need me on. Whatever happens, I'm prepared for it." And before he was placed on the IL, Nito and Alvarez were the Mets catchers. But since the veteran went on the injured list, Alvarez has really turned it on. Since May 10th, Alvarez had hit 9 for 33, 273 with 3 home runs and 7 RBIs in 10 games. Nito calls Alvarez's progress unbelievable and is happy that his teammate is excelling. I'm a huge fan of him. I'm a huge fan of him
always been, Neil said. I've always told him he belongs here. I'm so happy for him and how things are going for him. He's swinging the bat well, he's catching well. We all knew he could do it. It just takes time to get used to it, and he's putting it all together right now. Yeah, of course it's going to take time, man. You know what I'm saying? It does take time. It does take time, and it's a process. That's what some people may not understand though, because some people may not understand it because they never played ball before. So I can't really say that I agree with the people who are hating on the guy, but it's really not the wave. And let's see. Before I go to the next topic and stuff, let me see if I covered. Yes. So the very last topic would be the scoreboard. Actually, yeah, the scoreboard. If you think the bases are big, wait till you see the scoreboard. One of the big changes Mets fans will be sure to notice at City Field this season is an absolutely humongous new display in center field, which at 17,400 square feet measures 3 times larger than the one it replaced. Um, Hang on a second. The largest scoreboard in the majors threaten, threatens to clash with the original concept of Citi Field, which was designed to be an intimate ballpark in the tradition of Abbott's Field. The new king size LED screen, however, isn't the only thing the organization has revamped as owner Steve Cohen continues to make the Mets. Oh boy, I'm sorry. Give me one moment. I apologize for that. Had to do something actually. Um, my tablet kind of went out of service, but where was I? Yeah, so the new king size LED screen, however, isn't the only thing the organization has revamped as Steve Cohen continues to make the Mets identity feel much more grand. Um, Located inside the right field wall at field level, the lavish Cadillac Club at Payson's features seats that cost $24,999 for 999 for the season in the sold out first row with rows 3 and 4 available for um $19,000 per seat. Damn, that's a lot of money. Shit, man, that is a lot of money right there, man. And yeah, I can agree with that. Um, hold on a second here. Yeah, I'm sorry. I gotta look for something. What the hell's going on here? Hold on. I'm sorry. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, sorry about that. Let me just get to. All right, let me continue where I left off here. Okay, so um, yeah, so this is where I left off. All right, got it. Um, yeah, let me get to the sound effects. I'm sorry. Um, oh boy. Hang on a second. All right. Okay, these tickets include VIP parking for every game, elevated food options, soft drinks, beer, and wine. There will be standing room access, and a club designed as a New York City speakeasy. We want to create a space that's interactive, that's social, said Jake By, Mets Senior Vice President of Ticketing and Premium Experience. We want our customers getting to know one another, building their own business relationships using the Mets as their platform. I think it's going to blow people's minds when they see it on opening day. There's no space like it in baseball. We're pretty proud of it. On the opposite side of the price spectrum, Bai said the Mets are working on a ticket plan for college students. New York has over 600,000 of them, he said. We are creating a very affordable $15 price point. It's all going to be through text, and we're going to really go after a group that has been priced out of the Major League Baseball consistently. There also will be some new items added to Citifield's expensive menu. These new dishes come from these new dishes come from New York City establishments such as Empanada Mama, Emma's Torch, and Takumi Taco. These dessert options will be more extravagant than ever. Sunday Donuts has mustered up a donut milkshake popcorn concoction that features a milkshake covered in Mets colored sprinkles, topped with a glazed donut, finished with a sweet popcorn or Oreos. Um, yeah. Um, yeah, Oreos. Hold on a second. Yes. So another creator treat is a glazed donut and honey barbecue fried chicken sandwich from Jacob's Pickles. Uh, with options ranging from pizza, sushi, smoothies, and sandwiches. It'll be hard to leave hungry. Yum. Okay. I think that's the last topic of the night. Um so let's see. Let's see. Okay, I think I'm gonna wrap up right here. Okay, we're gonna go into our very last segment right here, which is stream choices on the go, man. Let's go. Yes. Um, as I said, I do apologize for the technical difficulties with my Wi-Fi and everything else in between. Um, and my tablet giving out, so I have to use my phone for my sound effects. So I do apologize for that one right there. But anyway, listen. Um, listen. So if you miss any previous episodes whatsoever, don't worry. Um, yes. So you can go ahead and follow Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast on Instagram, which is what TLKS stands for, and Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast. The review show that's also on there too, and following Off the Meat Rat Chains New York Avenue podcast. That's also on there as well as the Instagram username, which is, yeah, you get the gist of this thing right there. Off the Meat Rat Chains New York podcast is also on Facebook and Instagram as well, and you can follow me on the primary handle on the gram, which is G Money Stacks 555 on Instagram as well. 555 in Queens, New York. Yes, G Money Stacks 555 in Queens, New York is the username. And of course, turn your notifications for any updates, any postponements. I actually didn't get a chance to put any updates up because due to unexpected life chronicles that I had to really take care of and shit. But anyway, so let me see. I'm not sure how I'm gonna actually. So if you go to the link in bio, you're gonna see a whole list of all your streaming platforms. And of course, I will try to actually take you through where you could listen to the podcast episodes and stuff. So, of course, Audacity, which is one of them, Audible, Amazon Music, Breaker, Bullhorn FM, Castbox FM, Deezer, Google Podcasts, Listen Notes, Moon FM Podcast, Player FM Podcast, Pocket Cast, Podfriend, Podhound, Podopolo, Podorama, Podcast Index, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Podcast Guru, Podvine, Spotify for podcasters, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, the number one app for radio music and podcasts. And you don't need a credit card to download iHeartRadio or any of the apps that I just mentioned. So make sure you follow Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast by subscribing to every streaming platform that I just mentioned, including iHeartRadio and of course, yes. So also follow my other two podcast shows that's also on iHeartRadio and everything else in between, which is Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast Review Show, and also Off the Meat Rat Chains New York Avenue Podcast. That's also on there as well. And of course, make sure you grab the subscribe button on the YouTube channel pages, including Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks Podcast, the YouTube channel sports page, Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast, and of course my my YouTube channel, which is G Money Stacks 555, with all the New York episodes on there. In case you miss any of the episodes, everything's all there, so don't worry. And by the way, why don't you go ahead and grab that subscribe button for me and click on the naughty bell along with alerts so you could be in the know on when the podcast recording of the episodes is going to be starting according to the date and time. The date and time and the date. So leave a like and a comment along with the sports topic episodes, and stay tuned for more video content, upcoming episodes, previous episodes, and listen, stream, watch the episodes in case you miss any of them whatsoever. And of course, be sure to share the episodes, download the episodes, share the videos, tell a friend to another friend, spread the word. Word of mouth is important. And share the link that says Linktree/Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks Pod on there with your husbands, wives, boyfriends, girlfriends, friends, the people you're cool with from work and everywhere else in between. whether it's festivals, carnivals, amusement parks, um, block parties, barbecues, birthday parties, you just name it. All right. That's it, man. Um, I'm your man G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator. Thank you very much for listening and tuning in and on rocking with me on episode 61, involving the predictions of the New York teams, involving the Mets actually. So that's pretty much what that is. So anyway, um, of course, follow your goals and dreams and find something and look for something that clicks to you alongside with your niche, your voice, and be sure to not let anyone tell you what you can and can't do. And remember, the grind doesn't stop. Hard work pays off. If you want something, you have to work hard and get it. There is no shortcut into getting what you want. You know what I'm saying? You just have to trust the process. And on top of that, of course, you know, in the words of Ivy Rivera, you don't need people to validate you. You need to validate yourself. Screw the I'm sorry about that with the Wi-Fi situation. I'm gonna actually take care of it right now. As I was saying before, man. Remember the grind doesn't stop. Hard work pays off. If you want something, you have to work hard, and you have to work hard to earn it. Be on your P's and Q's on a consistency basis, creatively, mentally, physically, and spiritually, and everything else that I just said. That I just mentioned before it started acting out. That gets you into your zone alongside with tunnel vision. All right. I do apologize about the Wi-Fi situation, but I'll try to take care of it after I get off the air. So that's it, man. Peace and one love. Enjoy the rest of your Father's Day weekend, and shout out to all the dads that's doing sports in baseball, basketball, football, any other sports that they're doing out there, including the ones with the podcast shows out there. Shouts to all the podcasters who are into sports, like the guys from the Mets and everything else in between. Happy Father's Day to everybody, man. To every dad out there, man. You know what I mean? Even those that's in the military and everywhere else in between. So boom. There you go, man. I'm up out of here. Peace out. One love. One love. And of course, be careful out there, and of course, set your air conditioners up for the official day of summer, which is the 21st of Wednesday. All right. Peace out. One love. Stay liquid. Be careful out there. Stay safe. And nighty night, folks.